Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to our call tonight. My name is Lindsay Nadler, and I'm going to be your host. I'm going to share my story. A little later. But first, let me say I am so excited to share the opportunity of AdvocareLE with the law enforcement community. If you are on this call, then I'm assuming you're a part of law enforcement, or maybe you have a friend or family member that is, and you want to know more about AdvocareLE. You want to know who we are, what we do, so that you can make an educated decision for you and your family as it pertains to the day-in, day-out issues that you deal with from a law enforcement aspect. So tonight, you're going to hear 4 stories from 4 real-life people. I'm going to be one of them. These people are within law enforcement, and you're going to hear how AdvocareLE has changed our lives, not only physically, but financially. And our goal tonight is for you to hear something that you can identify with, something that's going to help you in that decision-making process. So before we jump into those stories, I'm going to take care of a little bit of housekeeping, and I'm going to give you some background on AdvocareLE as a company, who we are, and what we do. So if you've got a notebook and a pen, you might want to grab that out right now. Or if you're driving, if you're on patrol, you might just want to find a safe spot so that you can just soak this in. So here's who we are. First thing, we are a 19-year-old, rock-solid, world-class nutrition company. We're based out of Plano, Texas, and we were founded in 1993 by a man named Charlie Regis. And his dream was to create the world's finest nutritional products and to use the direct selling model to distribute them. And his dream was also to provide an opportunity for ordinary people to do something absolutely extraordinary with their lives. And that's one of the reasons that we were all attracted to law enforcement, is because we're just all ordinary people doing extraordinary things every single day. Well, I'm here to tell you, you've got that opportunity with AdvocareLE as well to reach out to a lot of different people. We've also got 250 years of science behind our products. We have a SciMed board that takes care of all the hard stuff for us. These are world-class, world-renowned doctors that research and develop all of our products, and they are based on the latest cutting-edge science. And you guys will know that they have the highest quality ingredients in it. You are getting what you pay for with this product. And because that reputation truly is everything, we're also partnered with an outside independent testing agency out of London called Informed Choice. And what that means is when you see Informed Choice certified on our product, that means that it is banned substance free. And we test through that company for all banned substances. So because of the safety and science of our product, we have hundreds of non-paid endorsers. Just to name a few, we've got them in just about every, field, professional, high school, and professional and Olympic athletes use our products. Just to name a few, Colt McCoy, Austin Dillon with NASCAR, and our national spokesperson is a man named Drew Brees. He was a non-paid endorser for several years, and after winning the 2010 Super Bowl, decided that he wanted to be the face of AdvocareLE. So that gives you a little background on who we are. Now I'm going to tell you what we do and what we specialize in. We provide solutions in 2 key areas. One is health, and the other is finances. In the area of health, we can help you with energy, mental focus, which we all need while we're out there doing our jobs, weight management, weight loss, sports performance, wellness. We even have a skincare line. We have 70-plus nutritional products, and we are the Cadillac of nutrition. And then we also help people in the area of finances. We can help you earn extra income, create a Plan B stream of income that you can work part-time. We can help you be debt-free. We've got a free debt buster system available to you with your distributorship. And you can also earn income 5 ways. One of those ways is a program called Rookie Bonuses. And what that means is if you're in the top 7 brand new people as a distributor, then you have your piece of $20,000 split 7 ways every 2 weeks for your first entire year as a brand new person. I don't know of any other company that pays brand new people that way. And you also have an opportunity to be a part of a winning team and to truly design life on your team, design life on your terms. And that's what we are about at AdvocareLE. We are also partnered with Operation Homefront. We are a platinum sponsor of them, and if you're not familiar with what Operation Homefront is about, that's a program that provides services and support to military families, wounded warriors, military families in need. And we are so, so proud to be partnered with them. So that's going to give you a little bit of background, but I don't want to take any more time away from the stories that we have tonight. So get ready, get your pen out, just soak all this in. The first story that we've got, I'm going to set this guy up. I had the pleasure of working with him at our police department here in West Monroe, Louisiana, but his name is Kevin Howland. And just to give you a little bit of background on Kevin, he spent 5 years in the Special Forces in the Army, 4 years on patrol here in West Monroe, Louisiana, and now he is right in the middle of the hiring process with the FBI, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear his story because it is absolutely incredible. So, Kevin, if you're ready, just press *6 to unmute yourself and take us away.
Like she said, I was in the military for 5 years and then got out and got into law enforcement. And the biggest thing with my journey with AdvocareLE started is I was skeptical, absolutely 100%. I didn't think I needed supplements or vitamins and I could do it all on my own. Well, when I hit 30 at 285 pounds at about 5'5", I was a pretty large guy I struggled every morning trying to put my utility belt on and not to mention the body armor. And if some of the guys on this call kind of put on extra pounds, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And squeezing in the gut and holding my breath and trying to get that belt clipped so I could go to work every morning got a little bit frustrating. So I realized at 30 and 285 pounds, I wasn't doing it on my own. And every day we use tools to make our life easier. So that's when I kind of got this mindset, well, not at least try it. So a friend of mine named James, who you're going to hear from in a little bit, he introduced me to the 24-day challenge, and I committed to it and did it 100%. And in 24 days, I lost 42 pounds, which was just phenomenal. Felt amazing, felt great. And since October, I've stayed on the products, and I'm down probably about 75, 80 pounds, which really equates to, I went from a size 42-inch waist to a size 34, which has just been phenomenal as far as functioning in life and everything like that. And it got to the point that I realized being as big as I had gotten, is I was just unsafe. We're not in the luxury of not tuning into our health and making sure that we're at the best that we possibly can be, because everybody knows it's on this call. In a matter of seconds, lives can be changed drastically. And so we know it's, an obligation to ourselves and our fellow officers to be at the best shape that we possibly can be. So if you're on this call and realizing you're not where you're supposed to be, then, AdvocareLE is a great, vehicle to get you back on track, to just jumpstart that back into the right health. And that's what it did for me. It took me back into a position to function as a police officer, and I had more energy. I was able to make better arrests and felt more proactive. I didn't have that sluggish, just sitting in the car waiting for 5 o'clock to roll around. And, I was actually had the energy to get out and do things and function. And so what happened is everybody that I met and talked to were like, wow, what are you doing? You're 40 pounds, 50 pounds lighter. And then, I realized that what everybody I knew wanted. And so the next thing I knew, my family are trying out the products, my friends, some other police officers that kind of were skeptical at first about it. And when I committed, they started trying the products. And, me and my wife then developed this small business that has started. Our first paycheck, what we received from AdvocareLE, was about $22.37. And now we average between anywhere from about $1,000 to $3,000 a month. And it's a pretty broad range, but what I can tell you is that we just started. We started really in the beginning of February. So for us to just start and to go to the level that we went as quickly as we did was just basically hard work and determination. And it paid off, because what happened is I applied to the FBI, and as we all know in this call, that certain decisions and certain actions by yourself and other people can really affect your career. Well, the next thing I knew, I was caught up into some just, I guess another way to put it is a little bit of trouble with my police department, and everything come to light. I was looking for a new job, and it was kind of a shocker. I wasn't expecting it, and so it was wonderful, the fact that AdvocareLE was there as a plan B that quickly became a plan A, so that, we weren't, freaking out and selling our home right away and trying to, do whatever we had to make ends meet. It filled that void, and actually to the point where it made it a lot more comfortable being able to stay home with the kids and realize how much time I'd been missing working extra details and picking up as many shifts and anything I get my hands on to do it, because the entire time I was at the police department, I was also working a construction company on the side. So as you all know, I guess it's a requirement, and to be in law enforcement, you have to have a second job or another way to make money. And if you're sitting there in that same position of trying to find extra ways and do extra things, AdvocareLE is a wonderful opportunity to allow you to do that, but then you don't have to sacrifice your time and your health for your family. Because if I, with as much as I was working in the construction company, not only did it let my health go, but also neglected my family. And AdvocareLE, me and my wife working together, our relationship has just grown phenomenally. Whereas, I don't want to go into too much detail, but it has taken it to a whole new level and taken it where we actually are in a much better place because of the time and the financial freedom that we have. We're not fighting about money anymore. We actually have time to spend together. And so it's a great opportunity to my family with coming to a close of this, hiring process with the FBI. It's going to be a choice whether I actually take the career in the FBI or if I, continue to be a stay-at-home advocate dad. So if you're on this call and you're just deciding whether or not you at least want to try the products, much less get into the business, I highly recommend to do it. We use tools every day as law enforcement to make our job safer and easier. Why not give, something that can take your health and your fitness and your performance to the next level? So I hope that my story touched somebody out there and helped them see a little bit more about AdvocareLE. But Lindsay, if that's enough, that's all I got.
Thank you so much, Kevin. So I hope that you guys took this away from Kevin's story, is that we do use tools out there every single day, and AdvocareLE can just be another tool on your tool belt. So the next story that we're going to have is my friend James. Just to give you a little background on him, he's got 35 years of law enforcement experience. He spent 16 years in Metro Narcotics, 20 years in SWAT, 6 years as a SWAT commander. He is now the major in charge of the detective division at the Western Road Police Department. So, James, just press *6 to unmute and take us away.
All right, Lindsay, thanks a lot for having me on the call tonight. I know 35 years, wow, that makes me sound really old, but really, guys, I started when I was 19, so I'm not that old. But here's my journey with AdvocareLE. In September of 2010, I was the SWAT commander at the police department. I came home one day, and I told my wife, I said, I'm heavier than I've ever been in my entire life. And she was already a distributor with AdvocareLE. She said, well, why don't you just do this 24-day challenge? And like Kevin, I was a huge skeptic of supplements. I told her, I said, I don't need supplements. I don't need that stuff. I can do this on my own. And I was an avid runner at the time. I was running an average of 5 miles a day. But I would come home at night, and I would load up a big bowl of ice cream, and I would scarf that down, and I was like, man, I don't. And then I would tell myself, I don't know how these pounds are packing on. So I had to change my eating habits, but that wasn't enough. So eventually I just decided, okay, I'm going to do this 24-day challenge. And I didn't tell a lot of people I got it, and I wanted to try it, and so I did, and it was phenomenal. I lost 20 pounds in 24 days, and all I did was just follow the directions on the box and continue with my running regimen, and it was phenomenal. I had more energy than I'd had since I was about 19 years old. I felt great. My pants all started getting baggy, and people started looking at me and going, what are you doing different? So we just decided, hey, let's go to this highest discount level with AdvocareLE and just see where this takes us. And we really didn't even understand the business at the time. We just kind of goofed off with it the first few months we were involved with AdvocareLE. And then in February of last year, we went to the AdvocareLE Success School, which is their conference. And in 3 days, we heard people get up on the stage and tell their stories about how successful they were financially. Some of them saying things like, we've been with AdvocareLE for 3 years and we're making $30,000 a month. And then the next one say, we've been with AdvocareLE for 4 years and we're making $50,000 a month. And we were just shocked. We were like, wow, is this for real? And so on the way home, we just decided right then and there, said, you know, if those people can do it, they're normal people just like we are. If they can do it, surely we can do this too. So we decided to put our nose to the grindstone for a couple of years and just see where AdvocareLE would take us. And here's what happened. We, at the time that Success Go, the incentive trip that they were offering, that AdvocareLE was giving away, if you earned it, was to Atlantis in the Bahamas. And so we said, we can do this. Let's try to go to Atlantis. And so we did. We put our nose to the grindstone. We worked hard, and we earned a trip to Atlantis in the Bahamas. Not only did we earn it, but our daughter Tiffany and her best friend Cassie and her husband Matt, they earned it also. And we all went to Atlantis together as a family and with friends too. And it was all paid for by AdvocareLE, everything. And it was top-of-the-line 5-star resort there at Atlantis. And so we just had a blast there. Well, what happened after that, you know, we just started working it as a business, a part-time business that my wife and I worked together. And in 13 months with AdvocareLE, we actually didn't start working as a business until February of last year. And in 13 months since February of last year, my income with AdvocareLE has already exceeded my income at the police department, where it took me 29 and a half years to accomplish that at the police department. And now we're currently earning right around $6,000 a month with AdvocareLE. So our journey's just been phenomenal. But that's not the biggest part. The biggest part is the impact that we've made on so many people's lives, both physically and financially. You know, AdvocareLE has allowed us to help people both physically and financially in so many different ways. And we got a lot of young couples that are on our team, and we have just fallen in love with these people and just been able to really concentrate on helping them. And then to finish out, you know, even though law enforcement is a noble profession, and I firmly believe that after 35 years, you know, I'm a career police officer, and after 35 years, I firmly believe it's a noble profession, but in most parts of the country, it just doesn't pay a lot. We're on track this next year to earn over $100,000 with AdvocareLE. You know, I'm getting real close to retirement, and now I'm looking forward to retirement because I know that we don't have to worry about what am I going to do after law enforcement, because I'm not going to have enough money when I retire. So that's what AdvocareLE has done for us. Lindsay, I'm going to turn it back over to you. Thanks for having me. Guys, I appreciate y'all listening to me.
You are so welcome, James. So I love that, guys. I hope you honed in on what he said. You know, do you have a plan for retirement right now? You know, we all know what we get paid. In a lot of states, it's not a whole lot. So what is your plan for retirement? So now I'm going to share my story with you guys, and I hope that the ladies, if we have any ladies listening on the call, that you can identify with some of the things that I say. But AdvocareLE came into my life a little over 2 years ago, and it found me doing this. I was working 5 to 5 night shift. I'm also a personal trainer. That's something that I love to do. So I was getting off at 5 a.m., and I was personal training clients. And here's what happened. I was engaged to be married in 6 months. And so if any of you guys have had, you know, to pay for a wedding for maybe one of your children, or maybe you just had an unexpected expense come up, you know the first place that you're headed to, and it's the detail sign-up board. And that's where I was. I was working overtime details, and let me just tell you, I was on the brink of absolute exhaustion. And I got introduced to AdvocareLE, and my friend shared with me that she was making $35,000 a month. And not only that, I had the energy and the performance that I needed in this product. And so what I did was I went all into AdvocareLE. I took my wedding money and invested it in this company, went straight to the top discount, which is called the advisor level. And that first year, I made an extra $10,000. That allowed me to say no to overtime details. It paid for the last chunk of my wedding, paid for my honeymoon to Lake Tahoe. And so that was fantastic. But after a year of being married, My husband and I made a decision. And ladies, this is where I want you to just listen up for just a second. My husband and I made a decision that I was going to be a work from home, mom, trainer, and wife, because here's what was happening. Although I was out there, protecting my community, and I love that. I signed up for the night shift. That's what I signed up for. I realized that my family was not getting me at home where they needed me. And so I challenge you to think about this. If you're not there to influence your kids, who's going to be? Who's going to influence them? And so with AdvocareLE, that second year we made an extra $52,000. That allowed me to have the option to come home and be with my family, which is where we're at currently. We average anywhere from $11,000 to $14,000 a month, and we're on track to earn $100,000 this year with AdvocareLE. And the best thing that I can tell you, girls, if you're listening, is that you do have options. There is a way for you to have extra income and more time with your family without having to go to the detail sign-up board, okay? So it's been such a blessing for our lives and so many others. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to bring on one last story, and Paul is just going to wrap this up for us and really drive it home. So you guys really want to pay attention. He has a great story for you all tonight. But this is Paul Hazard. I'm going to bring him on now. He is with the Nebraska State Patrol, and he's been there for 10 years. And AdvocareLE has drastically impacted his life, and I'm going to let him share that with you guys. So, Paul, just press *6 and take us away, buddy.
Perfect. Lindsay, can you hear me?
I can. You're good to go.
All right, guys. Well, hey, I'm Paul Hazard in Kearney, Nebraska, right on Interstate 80. That's kind of our stomping grounds with the State Patrol here where I'm at. Been on the State Patrol for 10 years. Love my job. Absolutely love my job. But here's what happened to me. In not so many words, I took a trip and met a guy named Steve Wick that introduced me to AdvocareLE. And at the time of my life, when he introduced me to AdvocareLE, there was two things that were very true. One, I used to be an athlete in college, and I used to run a decathlon, and I'd put on some weight. But the second thing that was true was I was broke. And when Steve said something to me about I have an opportunity to make money, as all cops do, the first thing I said to him was, how much money? And Steve said, you can make a lot of money. I've made almost $1 million with AdvocareLE. And this is a guy that lives in Kearney, Nebraska with me, and Kearney's only 25,000 people. So I came home. I had drank a Slam, which is our energy drink, and I loved it. But I didn't want to tell him how much I loved it because I didn't want to tell him it's right. So came home, talked with my wife. My wife worked for an insurance agency at the time. She wasn't the agent, so she didn't make the money either. And I had 3 daughters. So this was the breaking point. We're either going all in and we're going to financially change our lives, or we're going to be stuck with the road we're on. So we ordered the 40% order to get to the maximum discount so we could get paid 5 ways, because that sounded like gold to me. We started sharing AdvocareLE with our friends, our family, a few coworkers, and it exploded. We followed up with those people and made sure they got the results they wanted, made sure they were happy with the products, did everything we could, and then asked one question: who do you know? And we just kept sharing products, and the next thing you know, Steve's telling me, you got to go to Texas. And I'm like, why am I going to Texas? He says, you've got to go to Success School. Paul, if you think you're doing good with 40, 50 customers, wait till you go to Texas. So I went to Texas, broke, not enough money to pay for a hotel room, so I slept on the floor with Steve. Embarrassing, but true. Didn't want to spend a lot of money because I had 3 daughters at home that were going to be expensive, just like I said. So went to Success School, learned a lot. I started texting my wife things like, this is going to get crazy. We're going to get big. We're going to help a lot of people, and we're going to make a lot of money. Get ready to come home from work. And she started talking to me like, where is my husband? What happened to him? So I came home February of 2011, and we turned this into a business. Our goal was to make $500 a month. Quickly, it was $1,000 a month. Soon after that, it was $5,000 a month. Then it was $10,000 a month. And our last month was $17,000. We're just somewhere in the neighborhood of $100,000 in just over a year with AdvocareLE. We built a 9-star Emerald organization, which doesn't mean anything to some of you, but to others it does. And how we did that was simply with the mentality that we have in law enforcement. Help other people. Find out what their need is and help them. That's all we did. And all we're doing now is the same thing. We are helping build leaders and helping people with what they need. And it's not just about us. I mean, we have a college kid that we're helping pay his full tuition at the University of Nebraska at Wesleyan. That's a private college. It's expensive. We have a football player that was a Harlan Hill finalist at UNK that's on product, and he's making about $2,000. So you help people chase their dreams and chase their goals, and it's the same thing you do in law enforcement. And the reason we chose AdvocareLE was because of the reputation they had. We looked at things that maybe haven't been talked about tonight. We looked at the fact that they're endorsed by FCA, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And we don't pay people to endorse our stuff, guys. We just do it right, and that stuff takes care of itself. So that's kind of our story. But then in January, my life kind of changed, guys. In January, I was in a shooting, and, you know, those kind of things change your lives, and I'm sure a lot of you have been in them. But what I realized at that point was I've already brought my wife home from work. I took my kids out of daycare. My wife and I have literally built this to the point where every day is a Saturday for us. Every day. Our neighbors ask us if we ever work, because I work nights. And I work nights because I love my job, but I don't work more than 40 hours because the money's not the issue anymore. So when that shooting happened, the thing that was true was I don't have to work the State Patrol. I work the State Patrol because I love it. But if I ever get to the point where I don't, I can come home. Absolutely. So that's kind of our story. That's what happened with us, Lindsay. And I guess in short, you know, from this point, there's definitely a few options you guys all have. Everybody can hang up this phone and think, you know, that's great for them. And that happened to me, too. I thought that's great for them, and then suddenly I was in the Bahamas. I was the major we just heard from thinking, wow, this place is pretty cool, and it's free. Or you can engage with AdvocareLE. And maybe you want to engage with AdvocareLE because you want to lose the weight, because you want to get healthy, you want to get bigger, faster, stronger, whatever it is. And those products are there for you, absolutely, and they work. And they put a guarantee on it that you're going to be happy with it, just for a little extra. Second thing you can do is you can engage with AdvocareLE and just get some discounted products. And it's not one of those things, guys. You order what you want, when you want it, at a discount. There's no requirements. You're a discount product user. Or some of you, probably a lot of you, because we're all in the same profession, that we wish it paid more because we like what we do, most of us, are seeing a business opportunity. And what I looked at was this. I knew two things were true in my life that I guarantee are true in your lives. Every one of you has instant influence with a group of people, and you also have credibility with a group of people. And if you can take that influence and credibility and say to them, here's what I'm doing and here's why, the sky's the limit. Write your own check. That house you want, that whatever it is, that dream you're chasing financially becomes possible. But until you do this, get uncomfortable to get comfortable. If you're chasing financial dreams, you're never going to get comfortable. You've got to get uncomfortable to get comfortable, and that's what we did. We put it on a credit card, scared to death because we didn't have the money. And now it's just in 1 year, financially, it's just so much difference. It's crazy. So that's how you can engage with AdvocareLE. I guess I would leave you with this. Hang up this phone and call whoever puts you on this phone call if this is something you want to do. If there's products on here, you got questions. Hey, I want to do something for my cholesterol. Hey, I want to do something for my weight. Hey, I want to know why Drew Brees is using these products and why they're in every NFL locker room. Hang up this phone and call whoever puts you on the phone. Or if you put somebody on this phone call, make sure you get in touch with them and ask them what it is they want. And guys, if the answer is I don't want anything, that's okay. because these products are so good that the products are for everybody. The business might not be, but try the products, see what happens, and maybe, we'll see you in Texas in Success School in July, because that event in and of itself financially changed our lives forever. So with that, Lindsay, I'm going to hand it back to you.
Awesome. Paul, you absolutely knocked it out of the park. I was taking notes like crazy when you were talking. Guys, I don't have anything else to say. Paul handled it all for us. Get with the person that invited you on the call. Let's get you started. If you got somebody on the call tonight, call them so that we can help them change their lives. We love you guys. Be safe out there tonight. Good night.